Hey everyone, so the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is work on our info sprite, which won't be completed until we work on the button, but it is nice to already have that kind of already in place so that when we do code the button, we can go ahead and test everything out all together. So to begin, we're going to start off with a new sprite. So we're going to hover over, choose a sprite, and click on the paint tool. And we're going to go ahead and rename this info. Once we've done that, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to use the rectangle tool. We can play around with this, so maybe I'll add a border. So let's make the border, I'll choose like an orange or something for right now, just as an example. I'm going to go ahead and make a box over it. Once I'm happy, I'm going to use my select tool, and then I can play around with the thickness of the outline. So maybe I want to make it just a little bit thicker. And if I want to as well, I can use the reshape tool and I can change the shape of what I have. So you guys can make this whatever you guys pretty much want. The only thing I will say is to just be careful not to change the shape too much where you won't have enough space to write what you want to inform the player how to play their game. But other than that, you pretty much have the freedom to do anything you want to it. So I'm going to do this. And I'll keep this the shape that I have. I can also decorate as well, adding different stuff to the border. So maybe I want to add some leaves. And maybe I can even copy it from my snow, actually, since I already have that. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that. And I can go ahead and just start copying and pasting it. And here you can see I'm just decorating my info page around the border as much as I want. I'm going to go ahead and use the square tool again, or if I want to keep the same shape, I'm just going to go ahead and select what I already have, copy and paste it again. This time around the fill, I'm going to change it to a different color. I actually want it to be almost completely white because I want to be able to make sure that the text is able to be read perfectly. And the only way to do that is to make sure that there's not a deeper color or a very light color to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and shrink this and add this to the center as well. Okay, so now that I'm happy with this, at this point you guys do have an option. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this leaf to the front. So at this point you guys do have an option. For those of you who want to keep it the pixelated style, you can go ahead and click on convert to bitmap. You can go ahead and see it becomes a little bit more pixelated, and then you can go ahead and start doing any extra stuff that you guys might want to, either erasing stuff or adding more pixelated artwork to it. So pretty much the sky's the limit for you guys for how you guys want it to look. And you do have the text tool here that you can use. For those of you who do not want to do this and want to keep it the way that it is, then you guys don't have to worry about that. For those of you who are worried about the text becoming a little bit pixelated too, after converting it to bitmap and doing whatever you want, you can then convert it back to vector, and then you can go ahead and go to the text tool. Once you've done this, you want to go ahead and pick your font, and you want to pick two colors. The first color is going to be for our title. So I'm going to use this color, and I'm going to type in how to play. Once I've done that, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the center as much as possible. And then I'm going to use my text tool again. I'm going to click on a different area. And this is where I'm going to outline how to play the game. So I'm going to use the little line tool that's next to the 0 on my keyboard just to make a little dash. And I'm going to type use arrow keys /WASD to move. Okay, and then once I'm happy with that, I'm going to go ahead and shrink this just so that's a little bit smaller. Okay, so that looks good. I can go ahead and I can just copy and paste this and move it to the bottom to create the next rule. And I'm just going to delete everything except for that little dash that I have. And I'm going to type in collect the presence for points. And then I'll paste it one more time and add the last thing that I want the player to know. You can also add as much as you want, so that's kind of up to you guys. But it's nice to make it just quick, easy, and simple. Tell them how to move, how to earn their points, and then what to do to avoid losing. So those are the three main things that we want to make sure that our player understands before they play our game. And the last thing we're going to do is type in avoid, and this is where you can add whatever you created. So since I created a thunder, I'm not going to type in coal because that, even though that's the name of the sprite, that's not what I have anymore. So I'm going to type in avoid thunder. Yeah, I think actually that's enough. Avoid thunder, and that's it. Or you guys can type whatever you want. If you touch thunder, you lose, or whatever you guys have for your coal / your quote-unquote enemy. And then once you have this, you're pretty much all set. You guys can also play around with the size a little bit more if you want to make it a little bit bigger. But once you have that pretty much squared away, the next step we're going to go ahead and do is going to be coding it. And then you won't be able to test out the size. So right now this looks pretty tiny, but later on we will be playing around with the size. So we can make it bigger than what it actually is when it's time to actually show it. So we do have that option as well.